Okay, so I welcome all of you. In fact, World Heritage Day is over. We really wanted to do it. Anyway, UNESCO has given dates, multiple dates to multiple things. What makes them to do that? We have no idea. But anyway, that is there at least. So, for artists, for folklorists, for people who perform, the idea of intangible heritage is of some value because all your performances are nothing but intangible and ephemeral. So, how can you market it? How can you place it as a heritage that helps you know, that helps your survival? So, UNESCO is the only body who makes certain kind of cultural programs to survive. Otherwise, it is very difficult in this age of rapid globalization, onslaught of post information, mediatization. It's so difficult to survive. Hmm? So I'm so happy to introduce Dr. Urvashi Mohinani. She is one of our student. She has completed her PhD from the Department of Dance, uh, completed her PhD under Professor Shivaraju, then presently working for the last 2 years working with Department of Dance, GITAM University, Visakhapatnam. So she's basically a Bharatanatyam dancer having a experience of dancing in the public stage for more than a decade. She has done quite a lot of workshops, paper presentations, recently published a book from Scopus. She will be publishing her thesis soon. So a very vibrant lady who really approached from Varanasi. That's what the picture says. She's on a raft going to Varanasi, isn't it? Right? Anyway, I'm so happy to introduce Urvashi because she's been a constant help and inspiration to Center for Folk Culture Studies. She fondly came with her own money to help us in our folklore festival. She's been there. She was sharing, presenting papers, quite a lot of things. So I really wish her all the best, and we will have a quick talk after the talk as part of the Heritage Week, as part of the Public Heritage, Public Folklore course. There will be a couple of your seniors will be presenting. Not couple, there are exactly 7 people. Only 2 people are available now. Most probably another 2 people will come. So we will have minimum 5 small presentations. So this is what exactly the day. Thank you. I'm so happy to say that today is your last class. And Imtiaz is recording, so he will be taking the attendance of people who are online. I will be taking the attendance manually. So I welcome Urvashi to, you know, present herself. Thank you, Urvashi.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, come in.
That was a very
Baidiye.
enriching, inspirational thing about me. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to the virtual audience. I hope I'm audible to all of you. My voice is audible. Sir, can you let me know? Yeah, thank you. I'll just quickly take this. Just give me a minute. I'll just set the presentation and then we'll go ahead. 1 second. So meanwhile, we'll just set up with the uh, background and everything. We'll just have a small connect one to one end. So I'm basically from Varanasi, born and brought up, worked there. So which is one of the heritage city, one of the intangible as well as tangible city that has been recognized by UNESCO for the enriching ghats that it has and the kind of monuments, that the architecture that it comes across. So before that, I would like to thank you, Professor Joly, for inviting me to deliver a lecture, and University of Hyderabad. Of course, this place is home, and it always feels good to come back. And it always feels the first is always special because coming as an assistant professor is the first time that I'm delivering. And thank you, sir, for all the opportunity that you have always catered to me. And this one.
Want to copy it to the content.
Sorry, just a minute. We're just sorting it out. This one.
This one.
And the talk is about 20-25 minutes. I would like to keep it as a very interactive session rather than just me delivering talk. And you are free to ask question, but of course, at the end of the session, we'll have it. And any other doubts that you have, any other notes you want to take it off, this PDF will be shared to all of you. I'll share it to sir. And from that can be reach out to everyone so that you can have a hands-on experience and the kind of bullet points that it has. So yeah, you can do that. But before that, is anything anybody would like to share a part of their own heritage that has been traveled? You are free to come up, and in another 5 minutes, we'll start off with the session. How about anybody who has seen something in Hyderabad as a part of heritage site? We all travel, right? We like to travel, but any place that you have been and it has not been covered? Come on, think of it. Come on, I mean, virtual people also who have joined. We all like traveling. We all have gone. So what is that one heritage site that you have been in Hyderabad or outside of the city that you have gone to?
Personally feel by their homes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. How many of you have gone to Golconda Fort? Golconda Fort, right? Great. What is the one thing that you have liked about it? I mean, apart from sunset, what is the thing that you have? And people who have not gone after this presentation, I think you should go and visit the thing. It is one of the heritage sites, though it has not been designed with the UNESCO, but yeah, it is one of the beautiful sites which you can enrich the monuments and when you can see a beautiful palette structure. So when we talk about a heritage site to go, it's just not only to see the monument, it's see the how the process and how the objectivity and the subjectivity defines together as a complementary mode. When we talk about heritage not being a product and not being an object, but a process that defines its heritage, that what makes a beautiful place together. And again, when we talk about tangible and intangible, it's very rare where you find that, both the things comes together, where the living experience and the coexisting experience come together, where you can feel at the same time you can touch, where you don't know how to embrace yourself at the same time you know that feel is very real and very important. So yeah. Okay, we'll start off with some glitch that we are happening it. So the today's talk is about the approaching intangible heritage for analysis, a case of dancing traditions in India. With this structure, it's a picture during the month of December, very chill, 2 degrees Celsius, and where we thought of defining heritage with dance. Thought that I got an idea to come up with a very complementary subject of taking heritage and a dancing tradition hand in hand. So, and according to that, coming how an intangible heritage comes with the tangibility analysis. When we talk about intangible and tangible, Banaras is famous for ghats, is famous for its monument, is famous for its all the structure that we have. So what makes it realistic? If you go ghats, if you travel, if you see in YouTube, if you go to ghats, you will see a lot of things that's happening, a lot of rituals that are taking place. You'll feel very overwhelmed. Every ghat has its story. Every story has a process of it. When you see a ritualistic ritual processing happening or a rites happening, you'll be a certain part of your mind and heart becomes very blank, because that's all about, you want to gather that, you want to feel it, you want to own it. So a tangible heritage, especially from Banaras, is one of that. uh, yeah, so coming to the next, with the conceptual framework that we thought of how it works and how it will be, UNESCO perspectives on the living traditions is one of the most thoughtful process that they took on it. When we talk about uh, a death rite, that happens at Manikarnika Ghat, or when you see somebody, when you see a body is burned, when you see, there's always an analogy that happens, people going to a river boat and there's a burning hut. So how will you even imagine? Just think that imagination in your mind, have a picture about it, where people are taking pictures, especially the foreigner or anybody who comes it through the boat ride, and then they see burning heart, they see people doing rituals and all of it. They have like, oh wow, what a beautiful place it is, a lot of ritual happening. But the person on the other side, they are living that ritual, they are living that emotion. So it's always a two-way. It's always a tangible experience as well as an intangible experience. So that's the beauty of Varanasi, where they know, where they understand that how a city is cultivated through culturally, through adaptability of rituals, and through the oncology of all the living and non-living surroundings by itself. And it's not, again, when I mention it about heritage as a process and not an object, a small diya that you put in the river, you always wish something. There's always a wish, there's always a prayer that goes by. So that all comes with a natural process. It doesn't come that, okay, we have to put diya because it's a Ganga holy river. No, you want to do it because there's a thing that comes from your mind. So there's an aura. When we talk about now, there's always a positivity. There's always a certain kind of manifestation that brings along. People who go to Banaras, they always manifest to come back again, because a certain part of it is always left over. There's always a place where you want to perform. There's always a place, there's a sound, there's a rhythm, there's a movement in every other ritual that happens in Banaras. And why I'm specific of Banaras, because I come from that city. I have lived that experience for my 20 years of my life. And when I'm saying I have lived experience, I have lived as a subject with an experience as a researcher. I have lived an experience as a part of being that person, being an artist, being a researcher, and being a human to that. When I take my friends out to the place, okay, let's go for a ghat walk. So I have a different feel, because I know that I'm traveling for them to a ghat walk, but what they feel is very different. But when I want to sit myself, I want to contemplate, self-introspect myself as an artist, as a heritage person, that's very different. So as a subject, I play a different role in each and every place in that intangible asset of the life. So yeah, when we talk about the conceptual framework, these are the designs, the tangible versus intangible, UNESCO perspectives on living traditions, embodiment and performances, and heritage as a process and not an object. So whenever you go to Banaras, look as a living experience, not as an objective experience. That's how you will understand the reality, the primary base of why you have traveled Banaras. Now when we, let's head to the living heritage. A very interesting story that I would like to share it with you. A Sunday morning when you go for a sunrise, so you will see at 5:15 a.m. Ganga Aarti happening. People are chanting. Especially there's a full bunch of girls who chants the mantras. We have a proper gurukul of a system that when the aarti happens, the chanting happens. So and lot of ring bells happen at the same time. People just witness to have that one ray of sunlight, and that one sunlight brings a lot of photographers come together, a lot of birds come together, a lot of animals come together. So all the living traditions coming at a one place at a one time to just say good morning to a sunrise from Ganga. So even the Siberians, this is a picture during the month of December, and it's a very beautiful thing that even animals have, that during the time, a time of winters, the Siberian birds migrate to the Banaras because it's winters. And then the other thing is, that's the only one of the cities that they feel loved, they feel care, because and one of the research articles says that animals do need their own primary subject as well. They need their own homecoming as well. So the homecoming, what they feel in Banaras is they don't feel in anybody. A lot of boat person, they just give a lot of there's a kind of snacks, it's called namkeen sevaiya, and they just give it to them to just eat it and be happy with them. Nobody cares how they feel, but the people in this place or a certain community, when we talk about a community, plays a very important role being a city as an intangible heritage. The community comes up and feed them. The community can be anyone. The community can be us. The community can be the boat community. The community can be people who are coming from outside. So the living traditions, the sacred traditions comes along with all of these things. So nobody is here, okay, you cannot feed them. It is because we all are one there. So everybody becomes the one. When you are born, you are not named. When you are die, you are not named. So that's the tradition that follows there. A beautiful place in Banaras, again, it has called Sarnath, where you can see a Sachi Stupa where Buddha came for his first sermon. Okay, when we talk about architecture and ritual space, so people from all around the world comes and join together for their own ritual practices. So when you go to the Sarnath or when you go to anywhere, there will be a lot of people with their own embodied practices, with their own ecosystem to get their own space to do the ritual practices, to perform the ritual, from talking about the aghoris at ghats to Buddha in the sermons that they come together and become the one in that city. A lot of aghoris come in the morning and they do yagna. A lot of Buddhists come together in the morning and they do chants. So at a certain place, you can see both of them together and doing their own ritual practices, and both of them worshipping together, aligning together, and complementing their ritual practices. So where you can see that kind of such ability to perform, to have shared space, and to live in that ecosystem, because nobody is going to judge you for that. You can live those experiences being there. You can understand those experiences in being there. A very interesting experimental project that we saw early in the morning, where aghoris were chanting, where Buddhists were chanting, a sitarist was playing its own sitar on the chant of what they are doing it. So that kind of creativity idea comes up when it becomes an ecosystem of space, performance, and practices. So that is one of the another point that has been experimented lively when you can see it on the ghats of the Banaras, and as well as in the Sarnath, which is a space itself that provide a contemplating environment for oneself to understand yourself, to understand the ritual practices within yourself, to understand the space, and then embodied knowledge that is going to be shared one after the other. Also, one of the major, in fact, practices that has been traveled by from the generation after generation, we all practices different festivals. So again, coming from, I think, how many of you know about Chhat Puja? Anybody? Yeah. So again, this is one of the, and Dev Dipavali, where it's a festival of diyas. So Chhat Puja happens after Diwali, and everybody knows Holi, right? So in Banaras, people play Holi with the vibhuti, like the ashes. So that's the only place where people play with ashes. That's the only place where all the people coming from different religion, different community come together, play that festival like anything. That's the big festival that happens in Banaras. So, and then again, there's another festival. When we talk about the festivals, this is a ritualistic dynamism where the daily ritual starts with Ganga Aarti. The second festival is called the Chhat Puja, which happens where the women keeps fasting for mostly more than 28 hours, in like starts from the previous day evening to the next day morning, and they give ark, as in they give the water to the sun, and it is for the well-wishing of the mother who has son in their life. So these are the ritual practices and the sacred practices that have been coming from generations after generation, and is still being as same as it has been 200 years before. No change, nothing. The practices has been established like that, or it has been processed like that, it has been traveled like that. All is, whenever you see, there are a lot of lot of lullaby starts happening, lot of chanting starts happening. So there's a lot of songs that has been on Chhat, and similarly with the Dev Dipavali as well. So Dev Deepavali is another festival that happens in the month of November, where people all around the world comes up, light diyas, and it becomes a very part of good photography expedition. So the whole 80 ghats are set with more than 2,000 diyas. Every ghat has more than 1,000 diyas. People come, lit the diyas, manifest their dreams, and then go back with a hope that one day it will ignite in them. So the hope itself is one of the heritage ensemble that comes together in that world, in that city, in that community as well. Um, when you see, this is a performance tradition that happens in Ghats. This is called a Subhe Banaras and Ghat Sandhya. So it's a beautiful name that has been given by the cultural expedition and cultural expertise there, where a lot of classical performances starts happening. So Banaras is a hub of music and dance, as we all know it. So which gives a right to all the budding entrepreneurs, budding artists to come to showcase their own culture. So this is a boat. There's a Maharaja culture that comes and they're playing sitar, tabla. This is another Kathak performance. And the third one is a storytelling in oral traditions called Bharat Milap. So which is one of the beautiful exploration of Ramayana, where it happens after Diwali. So all the oral traditions happen, and every year Bharat Milap becomes the beautiful narration of the storytelling, and people all over the place come to watch and witness this. And actually, people play the major important role to watch this, because they get their own small kids to understand how the historical perspective is still in the living era, are still in the experimenting era. And a lot of people around who have been awarded with Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan come to the Banaras and come and sit there to sing, to dance. We have Sankat Mochan Samaro, we have Drupad Mahotsav, we have Subhe Banaras, we have Ghat Sandhya, where all over the world people want to come and want to perform near the Holy River Ganga. The wish to perform and the wish after they have performed has been a journey for them. So if you meet people who would really wish to go to Kashi, especially an artist, and when you wish people who have already performed, just let us ask their journey, how it has been. They will be spellbound in explaining that. So the performance traditions plays a very important role, because it gives enlightenment, it gives a light, it gives the energy and the positive vibration to all over the place, which has been turned up into a small silent thing. Yeah. So how Bharatanatyam traveled to Banaras? So the art form, when we know about Kathak, it's an art form from Varanasi itself. Like it's an art form from UP basically. It has been into different gharanas like Banaras Gharana, Lucknow Gharana, Jaipur Gharana. Then when we talk about Bharatanatyam as an art form, it's a classical art form. So this art form is from South India, basically from Tamil Nadu, and it is from the Brihadeshwar temple. It's a temple tradition. When we talk about how an art form got migrated from south to north, the process is a very beautiful, and it's a very tough as well at the same time. There were a lot of challenges taken place. A name has been changed, revised. So Bharatanatyam before was known as Dasiyattam or Sadeh Parampara. Just want to take your backstory that during the time of Marathas or previous, when a girl child was born, they used to denote or dedicate them to a temple. So that's why they are called Nritya Manjari. And they were supposed to get married to the Lord itself. It's like an unsaid thing. Okay, so they are called Nritya Sumangali. And that is a parampara called Devadasi Parampara, means Devo ki Dasi, a maiden, a servant for the god. Okay, and in that tradition, they used to learn 64 Shilpakala, which is an art and craft thing. They used to make how to make rangoli, how to make like a costume of god, how to play nattu vangam, which is an instrument, how to do like a different culture that has been formed of, just to learn and to be a worshipper for the god. So during the British's time and after that, so they were asked to perform. Okay, it's like a very respectable job kind of thing. Them for like there have been 300 Devadasis who used to be like selected to perform for the Mahotsava, for this Shivaratri Mahotsav. Now what happened when you perform? Who will come and witness? Kings, right? Who are denoting a lot of money to the temple to survive? Kings. So once they come, So the kind of performance that happens, it happens for the god. But who wishes to see them? Kings. So after the kings see them, they ask them to come and perform in the court. For what will they do? They'll pay you money. Now, when the monetary terms involved, a lot of things change. So the Devadasi started becoming to a Rajadasi. Now the all the kind of the worship that it had, it becomes a means of entertainment. They went to court to lure the king so that they can get good money. So slowly the art form started declining because of all these struggles that they have to do it. And at a certain point it happened, it became a band. It the movement became an anti-notch movement where all the Devadasis have to run for their lifestyle. So after some point of time, a socialist, an economist, and activist, a lot of people came together, and one of the pioneer who set up this art form again and revised, known as Rukmini Devi Arundale and E. Krishna Iyer, came up in their saved this art form, revised the structure, and now this art form is called Bharatanatyam. So when we mnemonically, it's called Bharata. Bha stands for Bhava, which means your emotions. Ra stands for Raga, which means melody. And Ta stands for Tala, which is rhythm. So Bharata, Bhava, Raga, and Tala. And Natyam is a mnemonic for dance. It's a Sanskrit word. Comes as a Bharatanatyam. And of course, I'll not go in a very detailed manner because it'll be a very debatable topic when it comes to upper caste thing and all. Because she was from upper caste and things were easy for her at that point of time. So of course, not as easy as it's shown, of course. But then, yeah. So she was one of the person who uphold it, and she became the pioneer, and she was the one who opened the first institute for the performing arts to give education in that. So that's how we come the institutionalization process. But how institutionalization came into an existence in Varanasi or in anywhere. So a lot of theosophical societies came into an existence where Rukmini Devi Arundale was one of the part of the theosophical society, and the cultural transmission starts happening. So when the cultural transmission starts happening, people got the wedding happens, and they travel, and then a lot of cultural transmission, cultural adaptation happens. So that's how the journey slowly happens from south to north. But the first university that has been started in the north is the MS University Baroda, because that was the first university which started with the Bharatanatyam, and then comes the BHU, which is Banaras Hindu University. So like Rukmini Devi Arundale started coming with an institutionalization process, a grammar codified language came into an existence of an art form. So the similar art form started prelating and presuming into the different universities in the northern India. So when we talk about Kalakshetra, the name is called Kalakshetra in Chennai, in the Institution of Fine and Performing Arts. So that's how it became a Bani as a style or school. So the same Kalakshetra Bani or school is being practiced in different North India universities, who are giving education in Bharatanatyam, who are giving education in dance and dance education, and who are taking this on a different manner. So from diploma to PhD with a codified curriculum, workshops, research, documents, and everything are coming to an existence. So that's how the institutionalization take place into North India. And when we talk about Banaras, because already one art form is prevailing, which is Kathak. Now another art form comes up, which is Bharatanatyam. So there's nothing that is dominated. This is the best thing about the city. The art form is balanced. It's not up and down. It was very welcoming to accept another art form. You can see Kathak is not too much prevalent in South India, but Bharatanatyam is prevalent in the North India. It is because of the adaptation that people took place slowly and steadily, and they heartwarming welcomed it. They heartwarming accepted it and started practicing it as a part of their own art form. So it's a very good thing that has been taken up by people as well, because everything happens, it's not just one place, it happens with the two ways, right? It's a process again. So it becomes a heritage process to understand, accept the cultural adaptability, and to own it to a certain point that you respect it in a very vibrant manner. Then we talk about Bharatanatyam as a heritage. So yes, of course, a city like Varanasi, where it becomes a tangible place, has become a part of an intangible heritage, where you live with each and every ritual, where you live with each and every performance, where you live with each and every ghungru beats, bells, and the sound that happens all around the world. And in that place, when you trying to occur, or when you're trying to accept an art form through a contemporary relevance, a lot of social economic activity that happens, how do you present that? How do you present through an art form? Suppose, like when we talk about an acid attack, or when we talk about a small anything, any contemporary issue that happens, how do you understand through with an art form? How do you understand to present through an art form? When we talk about Draupadi, a lot of theme comes up with a Draupadi, a contemporary themes coming up. A lot of themes start coming up with a revolution. When we wanted to show BHU 100 years of centenary, we did a production. When you want to show Ghats, when you want to talk about Jhansi Ki Rani Lakshmi Bai, how do you show it? You show through art form. Storytelling is a prevalent talk that you happens with an art form, where you give yourself to understand one art form, one person, one entity, one community, and the whole of the city of all around, and that comes in an art form. Uh, when we talk about different ghats, 80 ghats, there's a ghat called Dashashwamedh Ghat. The story behind it, there were 10 Ashwamedh horses. Dashashwamedh Ghat, and the yagna has been done. So that's why it's called Dashashwamedh Ghat, and that becomes a part of a subject of a production that a person can do with Bharatanatyam. And when we talk about Manikarnika Ghat, how do you show a Manikarnika Ghat production? So that's how the contemporary relevance with adaptation to the local context come into an existence. Like this, we have a lot of things only at one place that can be nurtured, and it is still experiment at how and where the story can come up. A lot of ritual practices happens. How do you show ritual practices? How do you sing Sohar? How do you think that adaptability comes into transformability? So all these comes together, and all these come as a kind of a process of a heritage, not a product. So again, tradition is always like a evolving situation. It is dynamic, it is not static. So when we talk about an art form also, when it happened to a migrating art form, it has been evolved over a period of time, irrespective of Kathak or Bharatanatyam or any other art form. What is the living tradition is the kind of tradition that we are being in here, the acceptance of the cultural adaptability that we are taking place, the living laboratory in the city itself, where we are trying to balance between Kathak and Bharatanatyam, where we are trying to understand being as a part of heritage, being as a part of dynamic process and evolving process at each and every point of our life. Like when we talk about from Subah Banaras to Ghat Sandhya, the whole process becomes a journey of an art, space, ritual practices and performances. So when you see some videos that comes up across, or when you talk about ghats, or when you talk about Ganga Aarti, each and every activity, each and every ritual that takes place has its own symbolism, a symbolism of peace, a symbolism of life, a symbolism of art, aesthetic and performance poetry. So each and every place will have its own storytelling. Something which is not oral, but something that is always felt. That's how coexistence of tangible and intangible, activity comes in the one of the beautiful cities I can talk about, which is Varanasi. So a place which has a cohesive activity, a cohesive experience of learning, living, performing, and staying that experience for your journey. So whenever you go to Banaras, go twice. One, to understand the situation, understand the city, live in the city. Second, to relive the experience, that you can feel it, so that you shouldn't be left out feel. Because when you go once, you'll always feel incomplete. When you go twice, you'll feel the whole expedition of your journey. So that's all for me. Thank you to everyone for patiently listening, and for the approach that we would like to come up with a heritage perspective. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Indias. Thank you, CFSR, for giving us such an opportunity to collaborate and giving us an idea of bringing Heritage Week. And thank you, Urvashi. It was so nice to connect the tangibility and intangibility of heritage, make it alive. Even though you say, we have to go to Varanasi not once, twice. So you are promoting UP tourism also. But it's more than UP tourism. The way you have linked that tangibility and intangibility, and when you trying to say Varanasi as a living treasure, or Varanasi as a dynamic space where a dynamic traditions can collide, coexist, and give experiences. It's so nice. Not only Varanasi, in India, in its multiplicities, many cities has the possibility, many places has the possibility. Varanasi is so dynamic because it never sleeps. She said 83 guts from Asi to Arun. Every gut has a story. And there are some guts where it never sleeps. Huh? It never ends up with with the heat of the fire. Huh? So it's a so wonderful thing. So it is also, how do you approach being a person from Varanasi? She started very subjectively and very objectively and critically looking at her own form of art, what she practiced. So that's what is very interesting. So thank you so much for that maturity.
Thank you, sir.
Maturity to approach it in that particular way. So I don't know how many people are there online. Whatever it is, the talk was so nice. So now the talk is open. You people are encouraged to ask some questions. She will be able to answer. Yeah, I think, I don't know, where is it exactly? You can open that.
Mitchell,
Yeah. Hello?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
It was very nice. She talked about classical tradition, Bharatnatyam. I would also like to talk about folk traditions that we have. I'm from Gujarat, Ahmedabad, and I have been involved in the study and documentation of Garba for intact and UNESCO dossier on Garba. I was in the team for making the dossier. So that is how the entire Gujarat has Garba, and I would suggest we could also have a lecture or demonstration on Garba this way, or any folk dance for that matter.
You are welcome. We will be
Anywhere, I would suggest across India. For us, Banaras is always linked to classical things, music, be it dance, be it any ritual also, that is Vedic tradition. But there are other indigenous things and what we call non-Vedic. That would also be equally interesting.
Absolutely. She is being a classical dancer, and there's, the conducivity of time. So
Yes.
that made her to approach the
No, it was very
tangibility-
nice, very interesting. I have been
tangibility
to
of Varanasi.
I've been to Varanasi. I have performed on the ghat along with, after we performed Dandiya Ras, Girja Devi took over and she sang classical music. So what you said, a different kind of experience, yes, that I have been through, and I understand this part. So it was very nice to sort of understand and think about it.
Thank you. Most of the pictures she presented, it is her own pictures.
Yes,
So from the way she's approaching the guts
yes,
in the
yes.
raft and
And it has to be her viewpoint, of course, no way out.
Thank you so much. So
Yes.
you're welcome. We'll keep in touch. I'll ask Imtiaz also to keep in touch. So nice for your offer. Once we'll revert back to you for the Garba. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Yeah. And I would also recommend, suggest somebody from South with a folk dance. Just that she talk about Bharatnatyam
Mhm,
going global or,
mhm.
yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
we are open to questions. If anybody has any question or want to share something, you're free to go ahead with it.
Come on. Anyone? Hey, well, come,
Yeah, please.
Ray.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
online.
Go ahead. It's
You
okay.
want to be there only.
You
Wait
can
here.
ask. It's fine.
I'll get some water. Please. Water is full, so I didn't get
No,
water.
no. Please go ahead. Yeah. Please tell me your name so that I can.
My name is Krishna.
Okay, Krishna here. Yeah.
So my question is like you mentioned, it is we should see the place as a process. That's a very beautiful thing. Rather than object, treating it as object, to see it as a process. The sites like and you give the example of both Varanasi and sorry, Ghats and Sarnath also. It's a very beautiful thing how you showed. So my question is like how you see that process because you born and brought up there only. You might remember the how first time when we visited and the here now what all changed because you as you mentioned like everyone wants to go out to the Varanasi. Whoever wants you want we always want to visit again and again. So in that part of like it became the tourism sites and how that changed the site in what kind of change will occur to that site
Okay.
and how you see that like can you
Yeah. Krishna question is how do you feel or do you understand the process that has been changed over a period of time? And so when I talk about, because I'm born and brought up there, I have seen changes over a period of time, not once, but multiple changes. Suppose I give an example of Kashi Vishwanath temple. If you see earlier, the Kashi Vishwanath temple did not have the corridors like that it has had. There are still those very sleek streets that you have to go in and out. It is just small temple. You can still touch the idol and all. But today's what happens, they've become a very big corridor because of the tourism, and of course a lot of things have changed after COVID. So for few things, the process, thank you, the process is inevitable. We cannot change. Of course, the feelings matters and all, but the practicality lifestyle is a very different thing. Because we are not from a point of perspective that we can have all the decisions in hand, right? I can always feel the process. For some process, I felt very sad because it has to be turned up in a different manner. But when we talk about in the near future, they take the city as a part of the whole, not just one. Okay, so in that whole, they see the future of it. How? So when I'm talking about the people who are working on the city, we as a living expedition, we always feel that what we can do from a small step, that is a part of it. Suppose the performativity, where the Subeh Banaras started happening, that started from the year 2015 or 2016. Okay, that was a part that took the initiative. So these things can be initiated. The change of the process of a city or the change of a process of a monument is something that is not in our hand. We can always live in a different manner, and we can always hope that things never saturate it. When I'm talking about saturate, it should not extinct the kind of feel it had itself. Okay, because it's a very diplomatic or it's a very certain kind of thing that will always stay in your heart. But when you want to take it as a live example, when you want to be there as a live example, when you see there, when you go there, the part that you witness, and when you come back and the part, it's not there. Okay, so there's always be a void of why it's not there. Maybe an acceptance will not be there, but that's the dynamism. That's the dynamism of not just Varanasi but all over India. And we cannot change it. It's just that we need to understand and accept it, and how we can make things better, how we can approach it better. That's important, rather than thinking of a negative perspective. So I've always been optimist towards the kind of thing that I've always been in the process of heritage, as well as to the process of how to channelize that approach, how to channelize art with heritage, and how I can give to my city as a part of the heritage, heritage, certain kind of artistic experience that I have lived on it. So I hope I've answered your question. Anybody else?
There's some question in the
Chat box. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Anybody? Yeah, I think Farooq is
Urvashi, three of them already raised the hand.
okay. Yeah, you can ask. I mean, is it? You can please unmute yourself and ask. Please,
Hi, can I speak?
is it? Can you please tell your name? Sorry.
Hi, my name is Kashif. So basically, I'm a PhD scholar studying archives and trauma memory. So, firstly, please pardon me for having some lack of knowledge about Indian performing traditions, but I really thank you for such an interesting and well-connected lecture. I was listening to you, and you very perfectly mentioned that how when the things got commercialized, they actually, especially the performance traditions, lost their true spirit. Like when the performers started performing in king's courts, so they actually started being more kind of like commercialized, and actually they lost the true spirit behind that. But when one of the slides talked about institutionalizations, different academic institutions, universities started taking up these things, patronized them to sort of like revive in the true sense those performance traditions. So my actually it's to understand better about the performance traditions in India. So I want to like ask that why not give those institutions the leading role from where these performance traditions originated. Like they originated in temples, and the true purpose was to sort of praise the god or perform for the god. So why academic institutions stepped in, and why not we went back to those temples from where these traditions originated and strengthened them so that these uh, 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 traditions can still stay alive and continue in the same spirit.
Okay, very good question. Thank you for this question. So, when I talk about the temple traditions, I did not say temple traditions during the time when it started, and now it's not that it has been overly extinct. It is present in certain part of India, but when you're talking about to give the same thing during that point of time when Britishers excavated are all of it, so a very difficult thing for Devadasis to sustain their livelihood in temple became very difficult because they started demolishing a lot of temples, not the major one, but the minor ones. And that's how somebody has to come up to take the lead of it. And when we talk about institutionalizing, it does not mean patronizing. These two are very different terms to use it. And I used institutionalization in terms of understanding a codified grammar so that each and every person can go and learn in an institution. Like, suppose I can give you an example, not to a religion, pardon me for that, but a person who of a different religion cannot go to temple and learn. But a person who is in institution, everything is understood in one cup of tea, and people can go and learn of it. So suppose if somebody who wants to learn Bharatanatyam and she or he wants to go to temple, but she cannot afford it because that person is from a different religion. Are you getting my point? So to cater the needs of everyone, that institutionalization became the one of the cohesive experience and learning place where anybody from any part of the world can go and learn this art form. And this art form is not, again, when the Bharatanatyam was revised as a name itself, Rukmani Devi Arunde herself told that it's a premier institute for fine and performing arts for everybody who wants to learn this art form. So everybody includes everyone from each and every community, commodity, and religion. And when we talk about, of course, the premier institute Kalakshetra has a hand of it. So that's how a lot of migrants started happening towards the north, because this art form spread like a flower. It started happening like a perfume kind of a thing. I take that analogy because it spreads its own positivity around it, and people started accepting it, learn it, and that's how from those universities, small institutes started developing it. So that is another in that way.
Thank you, Dr. Urvashi. That was really beautifully explained. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one.
Yeah, Mayuri or Pankaj did
Yes, yes.
say
Ma'am,
something.
am I audible?
Yes, Mayuri.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, ma'am, for giving such kind of insightful talk. So I have just one query, like as we have talked about this tangible form of art, the performances. So in contemporary time frame, how do digital platform and social media influence the transmission of heritage dances, and what tension emerge between the viral trends and cultural authenticity?
See, digitally thing came very after the COVID. Pre-COVID, when we talk about people were documenting digital archive, that's a different thing. But performance, acceptance, and validation started happening post-COVID. Okay, but yes, digitally archiving things is different. Performance on digital era is different thing. It's a very subjective thing to answer. I might be that is my opinion. Your opinion might have a different take on it, but like so Mahotsav like Konark Mahotsav, Taj Mahotsav, these are Mahotsav that are still in predominant, and every year this takes place on a very grand level. A lot of Drupad Mahotsav, music festival, Madras Music Festival and all, they are still there, and it all happens offline. And they are being documented also in a different scenario. But digitally, performance era has a different take. People started coming up with contemporary themes, and it has been acceptable as well after the COVID. But yeah, when it takes about in thing, so people still prefer offline over online in these days. And this, because especially in terms of artists when I talk about, and when you talk about me as well, even I feel that when you feel an offline performance activity happening, it has a different role to take place rather than online. We could take validation on from the online, and it's just a one-way thing. It's never a two-way thing. So yeah, I think it's when we talk about in terms of archiving it, yes, it is there. But when we talk about performativity, so it's always an offline keep that I take place. Pankaj.
Hello.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, so your presentation on Bharatanatyam and its relationship with intangible cultural heritage was thoughtfully, and it's like thought-provoking presentation. Although my question may not be directly within the scope of your research, but I would like to extend this discussion to folk music. So I have completed my PhD on folk music of Uttarakhand. So in which various forms of folk songs are very deeply related to environment, social structure, gender roles, and etc. So with this regard, I would like to ask how we can theoretically interpret or conceptualize these folk songs into different forms of intangible cultural heritage. And my second question is, in like to what extent we can analyze, or to what extent we can analytically framework used in classical tradition like Bharatanatyam to be applied or adopted to better understand the cultural significance of regional folk music tradition. So although it's very much related to classical dance and classical songs in which we perform, but when we are looking from the framework of a folk music tradition, how can we apply it or adapt these significance to it?
Okay, so when you talk about like Uttara folk music, how to theoretically document it, for that I can suggest you like the folk traditions are like a oral tradition that transmit from one place to another and from generations to generations. Like suppose a lullaby. Okay, your great grandmother, what lullaby has sung, she still prevalent today by your mother, maybe. So that is one of the example I can give it to you, where you can document all of this. Similarly, a project of this was taken place where people were trying to collect the 100 lullabies together in different languages, so that the lullaby itself is an oral tradition. And when you talk about an oral tradition, of course, somewhere down the line, when it comes from generation after generation, from one hands to other, there might be a possibility it just skip. Okay, so maybe a place where from like you mentioned about Uttarakhand, like Dehradun, or place like Banaras. So we have like a sohar. So it's at Gokul bajata badaiya ke khande gar sohar ho aao jan mein hai deen dayal dena. So this is a sohar which I am singing right now. It has been sung by my grandmother. She used to tell me that. So okay, so because I know it, but after some time it might be lost somewhere because I might not sing, but it will be documented. So that's how theoretically is the one way where you can meet people, write it down, document it, irrespective of a folk narration or folklore. So that's how a manuscript or an archive thing will be there, because they are the best persons whom they still remember even now. They will sing for their own great grandchild also. And when you talk about what I think the second question was how it prevalent in Bharatanatyam through culturally adaptive thing.
Yes.
So when we talk about the folk culture in South, like Kummi and Kolatam, so these are still art form folk dances that happens during the time of production, like a big production for an hour production that you are doing it. So a Bharatanatyam as a classical art form is a codified structure grammar that we do it. But when we comes to a production performance like a dance drama, the art form also has folk touches, so that the integrity of that classical art form and the folk art form ensemble together and hand in hand. So you can see in different productions that happens all over the India for the festival as well. And you can also watch Kummi and Kolatam from the southern perspective, where they can give the culture resemblance, and will give an idea of the perspective that they are trying to showcase through a classicism point of view.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Hello.
and-
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I am Dr. Ganbitanu from Manipur University of Culture. It's a very new university, just started few years back.
Hello.
It's not a question actually, it's a sort of appreciation only. I really thank Urvashi ma'am for this kind of insightful and thought-provoking session. We also have different rituals, festival in Manipur like Haraupa, folk tradition and all. And ma'am, your lecture is an inspiration for me actually. To delve delve into more, about linking the intangible heritage we have, and thereby, like you say, channelizing the art forms, with the heritage. Because I'm also a Manipuri dancer, and it's really a very eye-opening one for me. Thank you so much, ma'am, and the organizer as well for organizing such kind of lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for your all presence and support. It means a lot to me. And thank you all. Thank you, Joly sir and University of Hyderabad and Folklore department for giving me this opportunity. And while I was working on this, there are a lot of ideas that I had also, but because less time, we couldn't come up. One last question, yes, we'll take. Please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
am I audible?
Rishi asked.
Am I audible? Like I've already raised the hands.
Hello.
Yes. Please go
Yes.
ahead.
So sorry, maybe it divert, or I'm a student from Christ. I'm a master's student, Christ University. So like, as all these classical dance forms are getting extinct, because even from one of the video I heard where the very famous classical dancer is saying, we cannot take it as a full-fledged career, like full-fledged career, and she say that it does not sustain our living. So what factors are causing this decline despite such rich heritage and artistic values?
See, again, it's a very subjective answer. I am a full-fledged artist. I am a full-fledged, apart from performance and being an assistant professor, I don't have any other source of income. I'm not a digitalized corporate person also who work for it. I work for my own thing. What I can give you a suggestion to excel in your own skill in different multidisciplinary. Like, as a Bharatanatyam practitioner, I'm also an Hindustani vocalist. I train myself. I'm a dance movement therapist, so I worked for it. So try to build your own, community in such a manner that things are into a multidisciplinary level. Okay. And when we talk about means of income, again, it's a very different thing. Your art should not become a promotional business for you. It's a very different thing, and again, it is very subjective thing. For me, I try to go with this kind of a thing because I'm delivering in art. I'm promoting myself in a different manner so that I can also excel, and the people whom I'm giving my knowledge should be genuine and trustworthy. Okay. Again, a lot of things comes up with a performance factor. You can become a sound engineer, you can become a sound designer, you can become a costume designer. A lot of Bharatanatyam costumes are coming up in different way. All of these are different things, but when it comes to a practice thing, that should be a different, and your own arena of your community should excel in a manner where you can choose your own multidiscipline pick. Okay, yeah, I can do this or I can do that with my dance. So when become dance as a medium of the primary reference, the secondary things will automatically come into a different catalog. So I hope I answered your question, Vaibhav.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohinani, for this wonderful lecture and telling us that heritage is not a product, it's a process, and we all live it. It was such an amazing lecture, and we literally learn a lot of things from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for attending from the online section and the offline also. Thank you, Dr. Urvashi Mohinani. Such a wonderful presentation. Okay, thank you for the technical support from the Indan sir. Okay, thank you for everyone.
We have presentation by our
Thank you, everyone, once again. Thank you.